Hi, I'm Duane.
And I'm Deana.
And we're the best of us, the Floros. We are excited about the possibilities and felt it would be a good opportunity to pull together some experienced RVers, and some that are just getting started, and kind of tell the story, sit around the coffee table and share some great ideas.
So we have two RV creators that literally are on different areas of the country. One lives in Indiana and the other one, I think, are stationed in Nevada. Is that what he said? And we have dear friends that are getting ready to go full time. So we hope you enjoy this Zoom call. It allowed us to all get together and just discuss, and you're going to hear some great things. So be sure and stick to the end. You'll want to subscribe to these couples, but also subscribe to us, because we're going to be putting out more videos just like this and other videos like that. So we're so excited. We hope you enjoy what RVing means to them. It may even save you some money. So here it comes right now.
We have some dear friends, some fellow RVers that have joined us this evening and are going to help us on this journey as we move down the road together. And so let me, first of all, Patty and Patrick McCormick of Travels with Delaney. They have been such a delight to us. We had the opportunity last fall to meet up with them in Virginia, and you can tell they're teachers. We learned so much from them, and just such a delight to spend time with them. And then also Brian and Shauna from Lyf Uninterrupted. We have been following them for quite a while now, and their journeys and experiences, and funny, just delightful, insightful couple. And so we've asked them to both join us this evening. They both have good subscriber numbers of individuals that follow them. And so these two have taught us so much, and we're hoping that they'll help teach you as well. And then Mike and Candy Pankhurst have joined us. They have just ordered and are waiting sometime this summer to receive their new fifth wheel. They're going to join us tonight. We have something very special in common with them. You want to tell them what it is?
We have grandkids together.
Yes. You might ask, how did we pull that off?
So our son married their daughter. They went to college together, and that's where they met.
So we've got to know them well and love them, and excited for them and their adventures as they move down the road. So,
well, I'm Patrick, and
I'm Patty,
and our channel is Travels with Delaney. We'll be celebrating our 3rd year on YouTube at the end of June, and we've been RVing now for 15 years. And I think we've owned about that many trailers, or maybe not quite 15, but I think we've owned about 9 trailers over that 15 years, ranging from a teardrop trailer up to a fifth wheel, and now we're back into a teardrop trailer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And we are not full-time RVers. We teach, and so we kind of full-time during the summers now, where we can hit the road for about 8 weeks, and then we just travel during school breaks.
Well, I'm Brian. This is Shauna, and the name of our channel is actually Lyf Uninterrupted. We've been full-timing for about a year now. We left our corporate jobs. Shauna was an executive in the healthcare industry, and I was in engineering at Northrop Grumman Aerospace and Defense. And we just came home one day and said, we've had enough of all this, and decided to sell everything we own and hit the road in our 35-foot motorhome with our 2 French bulldogs, Ricky and Lucy.
Yeah.
And yes, it's been an interesting year so far.
Yes, but it's been great. It's a lifestyle that we are so blessed and so pleased to be able to experience and to continue doing. It's been great.
That's wonderful. Mike and Candy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and kind of how you're to this point?
Well, we previously, when I was preparing to retire from the sheriff's office here in Jacksonville, we had an older 40-foot motorhome. Then we downsized with the intention of going full-time for a while. Actually lived in it for about 7 months. in one spot. And surprise, surprise, our daughter and son-in-law moved to Texas and took the grandkids right after, or just before I retired. And Mama says, I got to go see the grandkids. So we packed up the motorhome and drove and moved to Texas in it.
Oh, wow.
Then when the kids and the grandkids moved back to Florida, we reversed course and came back here. And now I'm fully retired and looking for stuff to do. And we've just come to the point where we're really in search of what our next adventure is. Mm-hmm. So this is something that we have talked about and dreamed about and thought about and planned for a long time. Mm-hmm. And the time just became right. And so that's what we're up to. We've ordered a fifth wheel, and when we get it, we're hitting the highway.
Now, when's it supposed to be ready to go?
We are hoping for delivery right now around the 1st of July, end of June, 1st of July.
Wonderful. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. We'd ask you in advance for maybe some questions you might have. Do you want to start with one of your questions?
Sure.
And we'll let the others help us arrive at some good decision making.
We have obviously been watching every YouTube channel and video and everything.
Like all of us.
With.
Yes.
One of the questions we saw in one of the videos was starting out, what are the must-haves, the things that you know, other than your stinky slinky and your connection points and all that kind of stuff, what are some of the things that you use and really value in making that transition into the RV?
So I'm glad you brought up the fact that there's so many videos out there, so many pieces of good information, so many channels work hard at telling people what they really need to bring along with them. You see them all the time. Well, I have to tell you, we kind of fell into that trap too. And quite honestly, we've used very few of the things that we thought we would need early on. So that's one piece of advice. Just probably not buy all the things that some of these videos say that you might need, because you might not need them. But I think the biggest thing we just purchased recently, and we hadn't really thought about it until actually we didn't purchase it, we got it as a gift. I use it just as much as Shauna does, and that is an Instant Pot.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
I love to cook in our sticks and bricks. I was the chef of the house, and I would cook quite a lot. But getting back to my my guy stuff, I would say probably the one tool that I find most invaluable most of the time, and I have used it quite a few times, that is our Vi-Air RV air pump, air compressor. It's an awesome set of tools, and you basically put it on one end of the motorhome, and the cords and the hoses reach all the way to the other end. So that's been invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Ours is delivered Thursday.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, and I would agree totally with what Brian's saying. In fact, a couple of years ago, I put out a video of 5 essential items, and I really did that because, a lot of dealerships, when you go to pick up your RV, they're going to tell you need all this stuff, and you don't know what you need till you actually start camping. Right. Other than just like you said, you're going to need a sewer hose, a water hose, a way to level if your trailer doesn't have self-leveling. But beyond that, what I was finding was so many people were just buying all, like Brian said, they watch YouTube videos and they're buying all these gadgets and then finding out a year later they didn't even really need them. And so I think you'll find as you go what you need beyond just a few essential items. So I wouldn't necessarily rush into buying a ton of stuff. Until you start experiencing. And the other thing is, a lot of it's going to depend on how you actually camp. You know, if you're always going to be in an RV park hooked up, what you need is going to be a lot different than, let's say, the way Patty and I camp, where we tend to prefer dispersed camping, boondocking, and so you just have to figure out what's working for you, and I think that will determine a lot of your purchases.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to mention too. Depending on the way you camp, that's going to be a big driver for what you need and what you don't need.
Yeah.
So
I would say, and there's just a couple of other things. Something that really saved our hide early on as we started to venture out, and that was having a TPMS, a tire pressure monitoring system, on our rig.
Yeah.
We ended up having a fire that started in one of the wheels of our tow behind on our Jeep, and we would not have known that if we hadn't had a TPMS installed.
Wow.
So anytime that we speak with folks who are getting ready to start, we recommend a TPMS as something to consider. And the other thing is, in your rig, for any important papers or things that you're bringing along, have like a fireproof bag that you can keep should something happen. You still have access to those valuables and those important papers inside your rig.
this is true. Just so many things out there. We forget sometimes what we have, and
Yeah.
but that is actually an excellent point. We were in South Dakota, and a bunch of storms, hailstorms, tornadoes, just these really, some flash flooding. And it wasn't until after the fact we realized that we hadn't compiled our things in a way that would help us grab that stuff quickly and go if we needed to. So that bag that Shawn spoke of was one thing that we got. And then another thing was just to buy like a dry bag and put a bunch of important things in there, so you can just grab those things and go if you need to.
Right.
Instead of saying, what do I need? Did I get this? Did I get that? Do I have this? Do I have that? It's all in that bag. You can just grab it.
Good.
We also learned back when we were in pop-up campers with the kids, we'd be in campgrounds, and RVers are a unique group. And if there was anything we needed, either help or supply or something we didn't have in hand, RVers are incredible to just step up and say, here, I've got that, I can help you.
It's
And
true.
that was just an awesome thing. And
Good.
been invited to breakfast that way too, just to ask.
Especially when you get locked out of your RV.
That's
That's cool.
Got a whole nother video.
That's another video.
They will get you in.
we got locked out of ours once. Mike had to climb through a window.
Yeah.
Well, I tried.
Oh.
I needed a 10-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something too. You don't want to go to the campground asking 10-year-old kids to come over to your campground. It's not good.
Not this day and age.
No.
We now have an RV lock.
Yes, that helped.
We purchased that
Yeah, that was a
For me.
great purchase.
since I locked it.
So now that I got us off track, Mike, what else can help you as you all get ready?
Well, one of the things that I was thinking about, and Deana, I know you keep your hair cut at a
I went
certain
early.
time.
I snuck in and got my hair cut.
Yeah, I haven't gotten mine cut yet. So,
Yeah.
but those are things that I wonder about on the road, because you have a trusted person that does your hair, and
Yeah, I wonder about that too.
I'm getting there. I'm ready to just buzz mine off.
Buzz
so.
it off.
No, something that I did, and I probably have my hair done about every 6 to 8 weeks, and we've been traveling, continuously. From the hairstylist that I normally went to, I had her do like a card with a recipe on it that I could take with me to different hair salons, so that hopefully, they could kind of see what color and what solution and that type of thing, and how long to leave this on my hair. So I take this recipe card with me to different hairstylists, and with that, it's been probably 50-50 where they've gotten it right and they haven't. Right now I am way overdue. I finally have a hair appointment scheduled for Thursday, which I'm dancing. I can't wait to get to it. That's typically what I do. I tried to follow a chain of hairstylists or hair salons that I could go to, and they might have some consistency, but I haven't found that yet. So that recipe card has really helped.
okay.
Good.
Great idea.
Great idea.
And I wear my hair short, and I'm getting mine cut on Friday. Can't wait.
Hey, I know
It's
how you-
longer than it normally is, but normally when we travel, I don't go and get it cut. Because I get it cut so short before we head out.
Yeah.
But last summer I needed it cut, and we were in Oregon, and I tried to find a place. I found a place kind of like a Great Clip. I think they called it Smart Style. And the gal didn't do that great of a job, but it got me through. And then we met up with some subscribers that are from Seattle, and she is a hairstylist. And she goes, "Why didn't you tell me? I would have brought my scissors." I'm like, "Okay, next time we come out,
Oh,
I'm
that's
telling you,
great.
I'm going to be there on a certain day, and you're going to trim me up if I need it." So she said she would be more than happy to trim me up. So, but normally I don't have to worry about it because I keep it kind of short.
Yeah.
For me, so
I found ball caps. Ball caps work.
Ball caps work
Really
good.
cover a multitude of issues.
True.
I did cut it in the middle of this thing, but
I have
he
an
goes
appointment tomorrow. So.
I've seen a lot of information out there about internet, and I know with you guys doing your YouTube stuff, you've got to have good connection to upload. Some people talk about boosters, and some people talk about hotspots and different things. What are you using, and what do you? Not necessarily for doing the YouTube thing, but just having good connectivity as you're traveling.
We don't have any boosters on our trailer. And there's a couple ways you can go with that. You know, you have your Wi-Fi booster. So if you're going to be in a park that has Wi-Fi, then that Wi-Fi booster will help strengthen their signal versus a cell booster, which is what we ultimately need to get installed, because we do everything through AT&T off of our cell phones. So even when we're traveling, we just use that. We don't even have a hotspot. We'll just literally connect to our phones with our laptops to still work from the road. And that works for us. The downside, though, is you can get into issues to where if we're camping, we may not have any signal, and we'll see people out on their cell phones, and what we'll find out is they're on, let's say, Verizon. And so sometimes you'll get into these locations. So I know some YouTubers will actually have separate cell phones to where maybe like Patty would be on a Verizon account, I would be on an AT&T account, just so you maybe extend your chances of having signal. And that may be what we do next year when we go. We're going to go to Alaska next summer, and I know that's going to be even spottier. So we'll probably end up getting another line through like Verizon just to have a better shot of having it. And then the last thing I'd say from our standpoint is I use an app called Campendium, mainly for knowing where I can get a good signal, because Campendium's app, there's actually a way to report it. So we can actually look at locations and people report if there's like an AT&T coverage, Verizon coverage, Sprint, whatever you're on. And that's real useful, because if I see there's no coverage and I know we're going to need internet, then we'll start looking for a different location to actually camp in.
The approach we took is, well, first we have our cell phones. So Shawn and I each have our own cell phone.
Yeah.
And before we hit the road, I installed a sort of an enterprise level cellular modem. So it's a standalone modem with a machine to machine booster. And what that does is much like well, any kind of cell booster, it's just a different sort that connects directly to the modem versus one of those boosters you see that you clip your phone into and put the antenna up. It's a little bit different than that. But we use AT&T on our cell modem. I would say 95+% of the time. That's been awesome all through the U.S. Occasionally, we'll use our cell phones as hotspots, very rarely. The nice thing about having that cell booster is I can go into the web page for that cell booster, cell modem, and depending on where we are, I can seek out different bands and see which one has the strongest for download. Let's say if I need to download some software or something, I can lock onto that band, It's great for downloading. It may not have very fast upload speeds. When we need to upload YouTube videos, I'll seek out and scan a band that has a faster upload speed, and that way we can upload our videos that way. So I would say 95 to 97% of the time, it's been awesome.
Good.
Well, I noticed that, well, when we watched your, Shawn and Shauna and Brian, when you watched your last video, you were talking about Visible, the cell phone.
Yes.
And so when I worked, I'm a nurse and worked with hospitals, I had a 20% discount with Verizon. So when I quit or retired or whatnot, I switched to AT&T because he had Verizon, and I was going to do what Patrick and Patty were going to do. You know, when we went out traveling, one of us would have AT&T and one would have Verizon. And so when I watched that, I immediately pulled up Visible and signed up. I wanted to talk to you guys first to see if you really, really liked it. It's cutting my cell phone bill in half, plus it's unlimited, I guess, and I have a hotspot, which I don't have with AT&T.
Yeah, and that was our approach too. We had, I think our Verizon bill was $185 a month, and we never used all of our bandwidth. With Visible, it's $40 per line, so now that's down to $80. That includes tax and everything, as you know.
Right.
And so Visible is just a sister company of Verizon.
Right. I saw that.
And, yeah, and I guess the only con to Visible is that the wind, it is just kicking up here. If you see our whole rig is just kind of going.
Wow.
So the only con to Visible is that it only uses Verizon's LTE towers, so it won't go down to 3G or 2G if you lose 4G signal. That said, I mean, in the 3 months we've had it, we haven't had any issues. No issues at all. So cheap alternative. And you might also know this, that if you go to a party plan, in other words, if you have 4 people sign up, that drops your bill another $15 a month, I think. So $25 a month for a party line of 4. You still get, everyone still gets their own phone number. They get their own bill, and they get their own unlimited text data.
That's awesome.
Candy, Mike, you might want to be in their party.